Hey everyone, Tendra here. This week I've been working on the Dawn of the Infinite. I've probably ran this about 30 times this week. I've been after two items out of there primarily, the Infinite Hand and Gorehowl, Might of the War Chief. I haven't had any luck on the Infinite Hand, but I did get Gorehowl to drop. So what I've been doing is picking up the quest to complete 5 heroic dungeons. It comes out of Veldraken, and it's called Fighting is its own reward. One of the rewards you can choose is the Heroic Dungeon Delver's Trophy Chest. This will award you 15 Drake Shadowflame Crest fragments, which will give you 1 Drake Shadowflame Crest. These are the second level of crests, and they allow you to upgrade gear from item 415 to 424. So if you don't do the higher level stuff in game, this is a way to get an extra crest every week. I also worked on some of my non-70 characters. I didn't do a whole bunch on them, but I did add a level on a couple of them, just to give me a little change up. But besides doing all that, I did make it into my weekly farms. So let's take a look and see how I did. The first item I went after this week were the Tusks of Mannoroth. These drop out of the Siege of Orgrimmar, and I've been doing this on Heroic. So I headed over there, made sure I was set to Heroic, and I used the available skip to go right back to Garage. Once I was at him, I made quick work of him, and like normal, I didn't see the shoulders drop this week. So I'll have to come back here next week and try again. So after failing on the shoulders, I headed over to Antorus the Burning Throne. Out of here I'm farming up the Scythe of the Unmaker. For this I have to do it on Mythic because I need the red version. So once I was set to Mythic, I headed in. I have the skip, so I only have to do 3 bosses in here. I worked my way back to the back, and I took out Argus the Unmaker. And just like normal, I didn't see the Scythe drop. So this is another one I'm going to have to come back to next week and hope my luck is a little better then. With both of my transmog farms out of the way, I started my mount farms. And first up on my list was the Hellfire Infernal. This drops out of Nighthold, and I'm after the red version, so I have to do it on Mythic. Once I got over there, I made sure I was set on Mythic. I headed in and took the skip. I got back to Gul'dan and I took him out. And just like every other week, this mount didn't drop. I'm at attempt number 66, so I should be seeing it soon. So I'll just come back next week and keep my fingers crossed and hope I have a little better luck then. The last raid I'm doing is Ulduar. Out of there I'm after the head of Mimiron. But on my way up I always check for the time lost Proto-Drake. And again this week I didn't see him. So I'll just keep checking and maybe I'll get lucky one day. But once I got up to Ulduar, I headed in and worked my way back to Yogg-Saron. I took him out but I didn't see the mount drop again. That gave me attempt number 61 on the head of Mimiron. So I'll have to come back next week and hopefully my luck is a little better then. So with my raids all done, I headed to my 5-man BFA Mythics. First up was the Underrot. Out of here I'm after the Underrot Crawg. Once I got over there, I made sure I was set to Mythic. I headed in and worked my way back to the Unbound Abomination and I took him down. That gave me attempt number 31 on the Underrot Crawg. Again, I didn't see him drop this week, so I'll be back here next week to see if my luck is better then. This left me with just one 5-man mythic that I'm currently doing, and that's King's Rest. Out of here, I'm after the Tomb Stalker, but this one I do as a multi-character farm. And if you don't know what that means, I take 13 characters through here every week until I see the mount drop. So let's take a look and see how I did this week.
You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, his master. You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, his master. None can withstand my blade! You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now his master hears me. You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, you have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, none can withstand my blade! You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. None can withstand my. You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, you have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, his master Oh! You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, his master gathers power. Time to use! You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now...
Well, look at that, 211 attempts, and the mount finally drops. And I gotta say, I'm pretty psyched. This is a really good looking mount, and it knocks one more off my list. And on top of that, next week I can start farming the Siege of Orgrimmar for the Tusks of Mannoroth on a multi-character farm. I imagine them are going to take some time, because I've heard nothing but horror stories about getting these shoulders. So the set I wanted to showcase on my warrior this week, I don't have a full set of. So I got onto an alt warrior, my Drainy, as you can see. And if you're wondering about his set, it's the World Defilers set. All the pieces for this are world drops out in the Argus Zone. You can go out there and farm these pieces anytime you like. But going on to the set I did want to show you, it is the Gravelord's Dire Plate. This drops out of Battle of Dazar'alor. When BFA was out, I don't think I did any of the raids at that point. The one armor type for multiple classes really turned me away from raiding. But in order to get this, depending on what version you want, you're going to run the appropriate raid. All the pieces will drop inside the raid, so you're not going to have to do anything real special to get anything, except for just keep farming. Because I think I may want to fill out the transmog for these, so I think I may start working on all the BFA raids also. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. You can click on subscribe. Thanks for coming by and watching it. I'm going to send a hi out to my best friend, and you all take care.